Jerry, any thoughts on the Washington Post article and how the picture they painted of you from a picture when you were 14 years old?
Yeah, that was, 60, 65 years ago, and a curious kid. I didn't know at the time the monumental event, really, that was going on, and I'm sure glad that we're a long way from that. I am, and we just that would remind me just continue to do everything we can to not have those kinds of things happen.
Any regrets of just being in the photo, being there at all?
What?
Any regrets on being in the photo, being there at all?
Well, I wouldn't have just dug that up for sure.
Right.
I mean, seriously. But that was curiously, I got criticized because I was more interested in how I was going to be punished by my coaches and everybody for being out front. But nobody there had any idea, frankly, what was going to take place. You didn't. We didn't have all the last 70 years of reference and all the things that were going, and so you didn't have a reference point there. Still, I've got a habit of sticking this nose in the right place at the wrong time.
Jerry, do you understand the perception that people have of you standing there? Because that was not exactly a welcoming committee that day.
Yeah, I sure do, and I understand that. And, I've just understand it. Yes.
So for the people that look at that and say you were a part of that, and you're saying you were curious, and other people are saying, well, this was a crowd, basically,
Look. That was 65 years ago, and I had no idea when I walked up there what we were doing, and it just is a reminder to me of how to improve and do things the right way.
I would like the same respect in return, figuring out just like anyone else. So please keep that same energy when we're talking about anti-other things, because just because I post a documentary doesn't mean I'm anti-Semitic, and doesn't mean that I'm automatically standing with everyone that is believing in it. So it's unfortunate timing that we're in, but I'm glad that I could stand on the truth.
I was wondering why I haven't gotten a question from you guys about the Jerry Jones photo. But when the Kyrie thing was going on, you guys were quick to ask us questions about that.
Okay.
Hold on. And I don't even want you guys to say nothing. When I watched Kyrie talk and he says, I know who I am, but I want to keep the same energy when we're talking about my people and the things that we've been through. And that Jerry Jones photo is one of those moments that our people, black people, have been through in America. And I feel like as a black man, as a black athlete, as someone with power and a platform, when we do something wrong or something that people don't agree with, it's on every single tabloid, every single news coverage. It's on the bottom ticker. It's asked about every single day. But it seems like to me that the whole Jerry Jones situation photo, and I know it was years and years ago and we all make mistakes, I get it. But it seemed like it's just been buried under like, oh, it happened. Okay, we just move on. And I was just kind of disappointed that I haven't received that question from you guys. Appreciate it.
Do you mind if I just have a moment, Stephen A? Sure. I look into the camera?
Sure.
I just want to specifically ask Jerry Jones to denounce racism. I think it's very important with where we're at in this time in history right now. I didn't hear him do that with Colin Kaepernick. His silence was heard all over the country as related to George Floyd. And here was another opportunity where, frankly, Stephen A., I felt like his answer felt to me it was above approach, right? He was above the matter. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Jerry Jones, our friend. I think that's very important. And I say that because I don't condone the 14-year-old kid doing that. Like, I agree with you. We're on the same page, 14-year-old kid, curiosity. Yeah. But sometimes in life, there's good people and there's bad people. And what happened on his commentary when he was addressed about this, which he had multiple days to think about, the direct quote was, "I don't know that I or anybody anticipated or had a background of knowing what was involved. It was more of a curious thing." Why is Jerry Jones absolving the hundreds of people who were around him who had different intention? Why is he speaking for everybody's intention when you could tell that maybe he was curious, but there were a lot of people there who weren't curious? There were a lot of people there who were racist, and that's okay to say. What was even more concerning for me is that when Kyrie Irving posts a pic of Hebrews to Negroes, we automatically come to the table by saying you need to denounce anti-Semitism. But Jerry Jones didn't denounce racism, right? It felt like he deflected. And how come he didn't use words, Stephen A., like that moment was a grotesque time in history. It was monstrous. It was ugly. Those kids didn't deserve that. But his whole approach, Stephen A., felt like he was above that. Now, I know there are power dynamics in how this whole situation works. Kyrie Irving is an employee, Jerry Jones, an owner of a team. And I get that people are going to say, well, at the end of the day, if it doesn't affect Jerry Jones's bottom line, then he's going to stay away from that. And what I'm trying to say right now, for where we're at in this time of history, you need to choose a side. Because that moment, Jerry Jones, the 80-year-old man, reminded me of the 14-year-old kid still being curious. And you can't be curious when you're in a position of power in the NFL representing hundreds of black people that work for your organization. The players have asked you to speak up about things like this. I just felt like it was a very missed opportunity for him. Now, I'm not saying Jerry Jones is racist, but I need him to publicly address. And I'm also curious, Stephen A., what he has learned from this experience. We talk about holding people accountable, holding their feet to the fire. I'm curious about what he has learned from this entire situation, because that's what we asked.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Stay Locked In podcast. If you somehow stumbled upon this video, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and notification button down below for more content. I got a crazy goal of about 10,000 subscribers. If you can help me manifest my goal into a reality, I would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get right into this video. Let's go ahead and lock the in. All right. So boom. All right, let's get right into this video. LeBron calls out the media for their inconsistencies and neglect of a certain subject regarding Jerry Jones and this photo. Now, granted, we know that this is two different things. Kyrie posted a link to a documentary, and this photo resurfaced from 65 years ago for Jerry Jones. But it does have to do with the same thing, which is pretty much race relations and quote unquote anti-Semitism and, hate speech, or however they want to coin this. Initially I felt like LeBron, I've criticized LeBron, and I felt like he kind of threw Kyrie under the bus. But now he's actually speaking up, man. So shout out to LeBron for this, man. I got to give him his props where it's due. I got to give him his just due for actually speaking up and just calling out the hypocrisy and the double standard of the treatment between Jerry Jones and Kyrie Irving. They're not running stories every hour on an hour about Jerry Jones. LeBron actually has to bring this up, as opposed to Kyrie. They just asked him about it. So, listen, regarding the actual photo, there's no conclusive evidence that Jerry Jones was doing anything, from a still photo. Yeah, he was in the crowd. That's some BS about him being a curious kid. But it doesn't incriminate him at all. We can't determine what he was actually doing. We can't determine his actions from a still photo from 65 years ago. But what I think most people are saying is that Kyrie was seen as guilty by association when he repeatedly stated that he didn't agree with everything in the documentary. He was damn near interrogated, scrutinized, ridiculed about this documentary, and he repeatedly stated, or at least had to state, hey, I don't agree with everything in the documentary, but it was something interesting that I posted for my people. And that should have been it. End of discussion. But no, he was punished. He was met with a list of demands, forced to donate and pay up, forced to publicly apologize in order to keep his job. Where is any of this energy for Jerry Jones? Jerry Jones gets to say, I was just a curious kid. End of discussion. That's it. This is what people are talking about. The double standard, including myself. I think it is a double standard. It's just swept under the rug. I think LeBron was rightfully so in calling out the hypocrisy and the double standard that goes on in today's media. Listen, we can't determine exactly what Jerry Jones was doing in that photo. But what I think a lot of people are saying is that there's a standard that was set. There was a standard that was set, and it should be across the board when it comes to things of this nature. And obviously it's not being met. They're not holding Jerry Jones to the same fire. And I hear a lot of people saying, for LeBron actually speaking up, I hear people saying, why, what is he? He's a basketball player. Why is he talking about a football owner? Well, then why is his voice valid or his opinions valid on anything else regarding the Cowboys, Ohio State football, myriad of things, the Browns, the Cowboys. Just when we're talking about this particular situation, now they want to dismiss LeBron and his opinions don't matter. Why is he talking about football and he's a basketball player? They've asked LeBron a multitude of questions over the years just regarding outside of basketball. They've asked LeBron about Trump, Hillary Clinton, George Floyd, China, etc., etc. So it's not out of bounds for him to be talking about this particular situation regarding something that is actually sports related. So it's just crazy to me that they try to dismiss anytime that somebody brings something up. And this is like typical, you know what I mean? And I think it's just some of these atrocities and stuff that people are talking about happen right here in America. right here. This is a part of American history. And I think a lot of people don't like to hear it and don't like to face it. But, it's perfectly fine talking about something that's happened overseas that really had nothing to do with them. Or us, I should say. Excuse me. When I say them, I mean just America as a whole. These are some of the tough conversations that I think we need to have, man. It's uncomfortable, but it needs to happen. So, do I think Jerry Jones should have his ownership rights revoked or anything? Nah, man. Nah. But what I'm saying is, Kyrie said it best. Keep that same energy when we're talking about anti-other things, i.e. anti-black. Keep the same energy. It's a standard that you set. It's a bar that you set. Hold his feet to the fire the same way you did Kyrie. That's all we're saying. And if it's a non-issue, then it should be a non-issue across the board. The hypocrisy, the double standard. This is what people are talking about, including myself. Everybody has the right to call out a double standard, 100%. And we're not talking about, there's a lot of people say, oh, he's an owner of a team. So what? We're not talking about power dynamics. We're talking about morality. Who are you as a human being, regardless of the position that you're in? And also, shout out to Jay Will. Shout out to Jay Williams for actually speaking up and saying something. And at least attempting to hold Jerry Jones to the same standard and fire that Kyrie had to go through. Shout out to Jay Williams for that, man. I think he's showing Stephen A. how it's supposed to be done. And he's the only one that actually said the name of the movie on national television. Hebrews to Negroes. It's the first time they said the name of the movie within all of this controversy regarding Kyrie Irving. So shout out to Jay Williams, man. Shout out to LeBron for actually speaking up and saying something. And I think it at least warrants a conversation. I think it at least warrants some debate, some type of criticism, at least the bare minimum. So that's my take on it. Shout out to all the new subscribers. I appreciate y'all. If you guys want to get in contact with me or would like me to react to something, please send it to staylockedin24@gmail.com. With that being said, I appreciate everybody for watching these videos. And I hope everybody out there stays focused, stays prosperous, and stays locked in.